Hello, this is my review for the 2007 film Black Water, directed by Andrew Traucki and starring some people I've not really heard of. This is my pillow I like to sit behind, just in case I get scared during a horror film. No, just kidding. This is my wife's. So yeah, I came to this film this week because I've got a ticket to see Blackwater Abyss this Sunday, and so I thought I'd watch this one to sort of catch up on the series before I go into the sequel sort of thing. It's a strange film to be on at the cinema, actually, because I think it came out months ago, but the cinema's in such a weird state right now. They've literally got nothing to show but Tenet, it seems. So they're putting out all these films that have already been out for a while. So when I saw Blackwater Abyss listed, one screening, I was all over it, bought a ticket before they can cancel it from lack of interest, because I've not seen that film. So, or this one, Blackwater. So here we are. I have kind of seen some crocodile films in the past. Tobe Hooper, his film Eaten Alive from 1976 is a really gnarly film that's well worth seeing if you haven't. Alligator from 1980, very good. And last year I saw the film Crawl around about the summertime in the cinema. Oh, pre-COVID days. So anyway, Blackwater. The film is about three people, a couple and a woman who's the sister of the woman from the couple, and they're going on a kind of excursion into the Northern Territories of Australia just for a few days. They're kind of making up their itinerary as they go along. So they visit a crocodile farm one day, a bit of foreshadowing, and then they stumble, or they see in the paper this advert for this kind of amateur tour operator called Backwater Barries, who can sort of show them the rivers of the Northern Territories and give them a fishing trip. I mean, this establishment with its kind of ramshackle reception room and dodgy little rowing boats, it doesn't look like the sort of place I would want to trust with taking me into crocodile territory, but there you go. Horror characters will be horror characters. In fact, I wouldn't be going to Northern Territories for any kind of hiking or camping or boating trip. I just wouldn't do it. It's like going hiking in the Everglades and expecting not to see a gator, or bike riding in Jurassic Park and expecting not to see a dinosaur. You just wouldn't do it. And they're not silly young characters either. The couple must be early 30s, and the other girl looks sort of early 20s. But and the tour operator who takes them out, he's the spit of Steve Irwin. I'm not kidding. It's uncanny. It's like Steve Irwin is around and alive and well and taking these guys out. So there's four of them now when they start this trip. But it's not long before the boat gets flipped by an alligator, and suddenly they're in the thick of it. They're miles from nowhere in these windy rivers that look a little bit like the Amazon sort of rivers that you see from aerial shots on documentaries and things. It's kind of like that, and there's all these areas with these trees that are sort of just above the waterline with sort of twisted trunks that you can sort of climb into for safety, but you're only a few feet above the water. And they're just trapped in this area, and that's the film, that's the plot. I won't take it much further than that in terms of saying what happens. It is very good, this film, but it's very one location-y. It doesn't really move anywhere for most of the film, which I found a little bit frustrating. I get that it's low budget and it can't afford to go here, there and everywhere and have lots of elaborate stuff going on, but even so, it's very contained with this one little area where the boat flipping near the beginning kind of happens. I mean, when they're driving and when they're in this speedboat going from Backwater Barries to where the disaster starts to unfold, you get to see all these lovely shots of the rivers, and it looks great. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm totally so happy I put this horror film on set in this area because it looks so good. But all that comes to an end once the horror starts, because we're trapped in this kind of murky place that looks like Mirkwood out of Lord of the Rings or something. So yeah, the action's very low-key. It's very stripped back. It does pick up in the last 20 minutes when, you know, you would expect it to in this kind of film. I thought it was quite exciting. It does have a good ending, a satisfying ending. Acting's not bad, although there's no standout performances or anything. It's functional. The crocodile effects they work. They're good. There's no, I didn't spot any scenes where humans and crocodile are in the same shot that much. It's all kind of spliced together, just, you know, effects wizardry to sort of get the job done. But it's not it's not a big budget thing like Crawl, so you can sort of forgive that a little bit. So on the whole, I would say it's a 3 bloody axe film for me. 3 bloody axes out of 5. It's neither terrific or bad. It's just a decent-ish horror film that you can slap on. In terms of where that leaves me going into Blackwater Abyss, I'm still very enthusiastic about the movie, because I don't even think the two films are connected. I think it's very much a kind of 47 meters down, uncaged type of deal, where the movies are not connected. They're just separate stories with the same brand name, which is kind of weird, because it's been 13 years now since Blackwater came out. So why they had to have this movie and pretend it's a sequel to Blackwater, I don't know. So we'll see, but at least there's going to be no characters at the start of the sequel going, "Come on, you've got to get back on the horse, kiddo, it's been 12 months." You know, that kind of stuff that just drags a little bit sometimes. So yeah, on the whole, I would recommend this film just as a casual watch. Don't expect the earth, and to be honest, it's not as good as those alligator/crocodile films I was mentioning at the start of the review. If you've not seen those films, watch those instead. But which probably doesn't sound very glowing when it comes to Blackwater, but it's all right. It's genuinely all right. It's a decent-ish monster film set in the Northern Territories that will give you a little bit of a scare. Okay, so Blackwater, there it is. I'll see you again another time. I will be doing a review for Blackwater Abyss, assuming my trip to the cinema doesn't get derailed by COVID or some form of cancellation. I'll be doing that next week probably, and also a review for All Hallows 2 coming very soon as well. So for now, I will say, see you later, alligator.